All right, welcome back to the Field Notes with Rashad podcast. I'm here with the Midwest Maniacs. Thanks for doing the podcast, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate you having us.
Yeah.
It's I think you guys are my first guests who have podcast experience because you guys had a podcast for a while.
We did.
Yeah. Was it good? I don't know. We talked about hunting.
We talked about hunting all the time.
Production maybe wasn't like up there, but
You know, I've always said if the audio is good, that's kind of what matters the most. People are, if I look at it, a lot of people are listening to the Spotify, downloading it, and if it's like me, you're off running to a hunting spot or something like that, throw on something, and especially if it's close to home, Southwest Missouri, and it kind of makes it a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, 100%.
There's this guy I actually really like. I discovered he was in South Missouri. His YouTube channel, Whitetail Research. Have you guys seen this guy?
I have not. Whitetail Research?
Yeah, so he's doing a ton of like thermal drone research on and so if like you had, say, guys with like 1,000 acres, right?
Mm-hmm.
They'll hire him and they'll be like, hey, come out, show me where all the deer are bedding on our place, show me their activity, their routes. And he's even gone in and intentionally like bumped to see kind of where they spread off to and how they come back and whatnot. Really, really fascinating stuff with thermal drones. And he's in South Missouri.
Yeah, no, that's cool. That could be dangerous in the wrong hands.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
It's very dangerous.
We initially came over from Southeast Missouri. I did.
Yeah.
That's where I grew up. So we know a lot of people down in that area, and that would be dangerous down there. That would get that in the wrong hands. You may not have any more deer left on your property.
Yeah. Well, I was on a conservation ground, the Four Rivers, not too far from here.
Mm-hmm.
Close. You're over by there, right?
Yes.
I was way back in those bottomland hardlands, like bottomland hardwoods, deep in there. You know where that big log jam is? Deep in there on the Little Osage?
No, I'm not that
I wouldn't be
familiar
familiar.
with
Yeah.
You wouldn't, because it's like 2 miles from the trailhead, right? And there's really no reason to go back there other than me just being a crazy person wanting to see if see what's back there.
Someone's got to be that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you took that
Totally.
in. Yeah.
it. Right.
Well, I'm back there. I mean, like I said, a couple miles deep during late deer season. I have my bow and a drone comes over my head on conservation ground. Some people say, oh, it was the MDC doing research, whatever. I tried calling the headquarters being like, are you guys flying a drone over my freaking hunt right now? They didn't answer. So I never got it.
Yeah.
But like, that is the worst because you think you're way back off here in the
Mhm.
wild and a drone came overhead. And the laws right now don't exactly support it in a way that's like, here is the strict defined ones. So this guy, this Whitetail Research guy, he's essentially like, here's my ethical guidelines.
Mhm.
This is what
Right.
I'll do. This is what I won't
Yes.
do. And that's all of the framework that he has for it right now. I don't know if it's going to be super quick to catch on because he's flying probably a $10,000 drone.
Yeah.
So not everybody's going to be doing
Yeah.
that type of stuff, but it can be frustrating sometimes when the laws are a little bit ambiguous like that. And I mean, Shannon, you deal in law, so you know more than anybody exactly what I'm talking about.
It is. Just that, and that's a perfect word to describe it. It is ambiguous, but because there hasn't been any case law been set
Mhm.
to give everyone else guidelines.
Yeah.
And whether you do it for pleasure, you do it for monetary value, there's so many rules.
Yeah.
And
Now, I will say technology is one of those things that it's great until it isn't,
Mhm.
because what he's doing with it is awesome.
Yeah.
That we're going to know deer better. We're going to learn. We're going to get a better understanding of everything. It's just you got those few guys that come in and they ruin it for everybody else.
Yep.
And then now we're going to be stuck where he might be restricted. He might not be able to do anything during season, things of that nature, which I could care less what my deer are doing right now.
Right.
I want to know what they're doing in the fall.
Yep.
So it's cool.
so, I may argue with you there because I can see the benefit of establishing a better bedding area
Mhm.
for them, hinge cutting, whatever you're going to
Yeah.
do. I can see the benefit to that, but there's more cons than there is pros to it, depending on who's at the helm.
Well, and I get it. If you have like 1,000-acre property, it would be a lot to kind of go through there and identify a lot of that sign and stuff. But to me, it's like, don't take the woodsmanship out of hunting. Sure.
Right. There's an element of like not knowing that's
Right.
fun.
Right.
Really fun.
And it's like, look, if you got a 160 on your property that you didn't even know about until this guy flew a drone in there,
Yeah.
and you're not
100%.
willing to go down in there and check the sign or put up a trail camera, it's like, well, do you really deserve to?
No,
do that?
no.
It's,
Now, I do like the aspect of like surveying your population.
Yeah.
I do
Mhm.
like that because I'm sure we'll get into that topic. Obviously, like does are pretty rampant in a lot of parts, and people don't put any focus on those. I think that part does interest me. The rest of it, I still like the woodsmanship. I want to try to go find them. I've always approached hunting as I want the animal to have the greatest ability to escape that it can possibly have. And I think that's why we probably gravitate towards bow hunting more than anything. Just because I got to knock on wood because I actually screwed up this year and I talked so much crap on rifle hunters. And I think I hadn't even taken a rifle for 7 years, 7 seasons or something like that.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
And I end up shooting a doe, similar situation we're talking to. It's a small property and it ends up going off on somebody else on the other landowner property who won't allow me to go retrieve it. So I feel like to me that's a huge loss because really with a rifle I should have dropped her. I should have it was just a chip shot. Like what was like 100 yards?
Yeah. Chip shot.
It was embarrassing, especially as much crap as I've talked.
Well, I definitely want to talk about doe populations. I was having a conversation just earlier today with a friend who had a similar situation. A doe, actually said it was a nice buck that had ran off onto a neighboring property that actually wasn't private to private. This was public to private. So he shot it on public, ran off into private, and he called the game warden, and the game warden went over there and helped him recover it. So I wonder if maybe your situation sounded like private to private. Maybe the game warden wouldn't have got involved as much then.
That probably makes sense. I don't know if this guy would have let anything. He's an angry little fella. And
well, this is the same situation. And the game warden was essentially like, you better stand down, buddy, or else he's going to write him a citation for impeding a game officer. And, they're federal agents. It's
right.
Like,
they can do
mess around
pretty much whatever.
Yeah.
That would be more your...
That really surprises me because the statute clearly states that you don't have the authority to go to someone else's land to recover your deer because it becomes trespassing.
Even with a federal agent like that.
Well, if you have an MDC agent, maybe there was a healthy conversation that took place, and maybe he's like, oh yeah, maybe seeing how he's with you, you can go. I can understand everybody's reason for not allowing people on their land because they don't leave it like they found it.
Sure, yeah.
That's the problem. But I would be curious to know how it would actually fly for impeding that recovery.
Well, it'd probably get thrown out. A judge would see this and be like, get out of my face.
Yeah, I got bigger fish to fry. This is not that big of a deal.
Depends on the county, I guess, there's definitely that. But, we know there's some recent changes to the Missouri Department of Conservation's deer season right now, specifically for non-residents. It's something I've been covering extensively.
Thank you.
Of course, it's something I'm very passionate about.
Sure.
And I've just discovered that people are having a hard time staying up on the regs. The way MDC posts maybe just isn't flashy enough for today's attention span. So let me get on and put some captions on.
They need that. They need that. It's very old school. And I feel like they've kind of damaged their relationship with the public a little bit, specifically residents.
Yeah.
I feel like the residents have felt like they're put on the back burner.
Yep.
And I think that, I know when you were setting this up, I just got an email from him. I'm like, delete. I don't really care to hear what they have to say. Obviously, I've checked in on these new updates, but I'm just like, back in the day, I remember reading through all the stuff they sent, trying to stay updated. Now I'm like, I really don't care what you guys have to say.
Yeah, and I do think that these proposed deer changes is definitely in the best benefit of residents, especially in northern Missouri, where we're seeing a tremendous amount of non-resident pressure because guys say, oh, all the biggest bucks only exist in Iowa, so let me get as close to the border as I possibly can and crowd the public land. And I'm like, that's not exactly how big deer are killed,
Right.
And I try not to talk about too much about the big deer killed in South Missouri because I don't want a bunch of them down here.
Right.
Ignorance is bliss, right? No, there's nothing down here, guys.
But I do like some northern states are implementing sort of a earn a buck program where you have to take a doe. I think that's a great opportunity. And I do think that, because look, if you take a doe to a processor, it can get expensive. Especially in some more of these rural areas, a couple $100 to process a deer is a lot of money for folks.
It is.
And if you're working a full-time job, maybe you don't have the time or the space to break that deer down. So I would like to see more, Hunters for Hungry programs implemented in some local butchers and just if somebody out there knows their butcher that has this, let me know. I'll help promote it. We'll get it out there so people can take more does, simply drop them off and feed some people who really need that meat. But what do you guys think is maybe an alternative solution to more doe harvest? Because I think we do need to get a few more does off the landscape.
I will start first with that, and I would say contact Midwest Maniac Outdoors, because we'll come and whack every doe on your place. That we have no discrimination on whacking a doe. We will do that, but we put it out to our followers, and for the local people, obviously, in our community. Hey, if you need help, if you need an animal, let us know. We'll buy the tag. We'll go fill your tag for you. We'll drop it off at the processor of your choice, and you can have fresh venison for your family, however long it lasts. Yeah. I don't think that that offer is out there very much. And it is expensive, like what you were talking about, especially if you start getting sausage and jerky and all that other stuff, Yeah. But the problem with taking it out there for Share the Harvest or food pantries, because I've contacted lots of food pantries, say, hey, we'll bring you 5 or 6 deer. Their problem is there's so many regulations because of CWD.
Oh yeah,
that it's not beneficial for us to do that. And which I've got my own opinion, CWD.
Yeah,
and I'm not a fan of it.
Yeah,
and it's been around forever.
Yep.
And if you want a healthy herd, you contact Midwest Maniac Outdoors. We got 710 mineral. I mean, you keep your animals healthy. It's just like humans. If you're healthy, the less disease you're going to have.
That's been night and day for our properties. Well, we're going on 7 or 8 seasons now of them having that.
Yeah.
6, 7, 8, somewhere in there.
So what is this?
710 deer mineral. They, how long? Well, you were a junior in high school or senior?
No, I would have been Cooper.
Was it Cooper?
Not that old. It's not that old.
True.
Yeah, it was
True.
Cooper.
It was
Cooper. Yeah, it would have been when we would have gotten over. He'd have been playing with Marucci, everything of that nature.
Yes. So the owner of 710 deer mineral, the boys were playing against each other, and we were standing behind home plate. We got to talking. He said, I got something you guys need to try out. And I'm like, okay. We like trying stuff for free.
Yeah.
He said, sure. Well, we'll give it, just try it out. I promise you, once you try it, you'll come back. And we set it out, and it's called 710 Deer Mineral. It's on Facebook. It's sold out of Willard, Missouri is where it's out of. Eagle Outdoors in Willard. And Eagle Outdoors in Neosho carries it. But it has 70 plus trace minerals in it.
Okay.
Everything from vitamins to every element or trace nutrient that they need. It's not an attractant. That's what separates it.
So it's not like that deer cocaine.
No.
True.
Okay.
And prior to CWD, because it's not an attractant, you could hunt over it. Because it's not an attractant, it's a mineral. Well, then when the Powers of B in Jeff City with MDC got together and they lumped everything together.
A bunch of people that don't hunt.
Right.
Got together.
And
Yeah.
they
do that.
they lumped all of this in, and they put mineral inside of it that says you can't put that product out on your property because it's going to infect the deer. But if you want to put a pile of corn 100 feet from the corner of your house to sit and watch them, that's okay. Not true.
But CWD can't spread within 100 feet of a house.
Right.
Yeah.
We all know that.
Not true.
It's like the biodome.
Yeah.
Of course. I have spent so much time in that corner office in there researching CWD from every bit of information I could get on it. And listen to some pretty good veterinarians that are that is their job. They're scientists in that they look for these prions or what have you. And it all relates back to the health of the herd. You can't stop community engagement in a deer herd.
Right.
That's what they are.
Yep. You see scrapes, you see rubs, they're getting hit by everybody. Yeah.
Nose to nose when they come into a food plot, nose to hindquarters, whatever. And there's literally zero difference between a bean field and a quarter acre kill plot. They're going to urinate in it. They're going to defecate in it. They're going to scent check each other. They're going to socialize with each other. It's all there. And I just don't buy it.
And I think one of the big problems we're seeing, after it's been so long, CWD has been just rammed into people's face, is that it's been co-opted big time.
Yep.
I don't know if you guys heard the news about the recent Oklahoma bills. They were trying to release them captive deer to fix CWD.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, who can this really benefit? If we follow the money, really simply, these deer farmers, they say they had a professional come in and say it would take some 75,000 deer, which is, 10% of all the deer in Oklahoma. And it's like, oh, at $10,000 a pop
of his nicest specimen,
right?
Yeah,
that's you should totally do that. We can provide 75,000 deer, no problem, at the tune of millions and millions
we'll just
of dollars.
Keep pumping them out, but
so it's been co-opted, and it's essentially kind of it delegitimized any real traction that CWD might have had. And from my understanding, and I'll be the first to admit, I have not done all of the research because I kind of just thought it was BS from the beginning. One of my big fears is that it ever does transmit to a human, which there's no research that suggests that would ever happen or has ever happened. I mean, gosh, they would
lockdown.
It would just be the end.
No more hunting ever again.
It'll be a COVID 3.9 or whatever.
Yeah, seriously. No, but that's great. The 710 minerals. I'm gonna have to definitely check that out. And so you still can use that because it's not baiting. How does the regs play out on that?
No, it's shut down right now, right?
You can't do anything in the state of Missouri.
Yeah.
Can't put any of it out.
Yeah.
And here's the thing about it. You're never going to convince those people because
wait a minute. Time out. You can put it out as long as you put it out 100 feet from your house.
Yeah, of course. In the biodome.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's cool.
Okay.
We could pour it out right here.
Yeah.
Completely legal.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Again, these non-hunters making the rules.
Mm-hmm.
The 710 mineral is not an attractant. Now I say that you're going to put it out, and especially early, your camera's just going to kill itself just sending you pictures. Mm-hmm. But that's in that early season when they're hot. They're sitting there, the sun's beating down on everything.
Mm-hmm.
They're only going to come back for what they need. You know how an animal works? An animal is going to crave whatever it physically needs.
Yep.
So these deer, these does, and that's who it really targets is the does.
Oh yeah,
it's the does.
Yeah.
All these other companies want to pitch it towards antler growth, all that. No, yeah, that starts with mom, and it changed everything about our does when we started using. Their coats were better. They were holding weight. Our fawns were bigger. Every single aspect because we just went and put it in basically the doe bedding, the doe hangouts. We went and dumped them straight in there. And we were like, hey, moms, come and eat all of this. So these deer are not, it's not like I'm going and throwing a bag of corn out there and I know for the next 36 hours, there's going to be 75 deer through here. It's not like that at all. I'm going to go throw it on there. If you find, it's my favorite when you find young bucks during the rut especially. They'll find it, they'll run across it, and they will stay there for 2 days because they're just like, oh my God, I feel so much better right now. And then they go chase tail. That's the biggest difference on it. That's what these people aren't realizing. It's like, it's not, yeah, you could hunt over it, but like, I'm not gonna, if I got acorn somewhere, I'm not going to hunt my 710. I'm going to hunt my acorns. Like, it's not like addictive by any means. They just come to it because they know I feel good when I eat this.
Yeah. And studies show you can't compete with acorns. You just can't.
Correct.
Everything prefers acorns over that. And you know what? It makes me, it reminds me of, Daniel Boone, famous deer skinner. Boone's Lick, not too far from here, was historically like a really heavy mineral concentration site. And I'm reminded of a story I was told of a place in northeastern Oregon, which is some of the best deer hunting in that coastal region. Elk hunting rather.
Right. Roosevelt.
Well, you actually have Rockies that far northeast, but amazing. It takes 20 years to get a tag for like those Wenaha, Mount Emily units. But Wayne Endicott, the owner of the Bow Rack on Springfield, Oregon, he had somehow got his hands on a mineral concentration map in the entire state of Oregon. So different sites that had heavy mineral concentrations. And sure enough, those big bull units over there had heavy mineral concentrations. The reason I bring this up, Boone's Lick, Daniel Boone, was targeting the same type of things, heavy mineral sites. And it's not like he just discovered that. The Native Americans were already doing the same thing. So those are the areas where a lot of conflicts would happen. And it's like, why? Well, because there's heavy minerals in the ground. The deer are all concentrating on that. And I believe there's still some areas, even in this, like, I know of a place in Neosho that I'm like, Aaron Spencer.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, the reason why you guys have so many freaking bucks and turkeys in this little valley right here, I'd be willing to bet if there was a mineral concentration survey done in this area, you guys would have much higher than normal levels. And that's why you're sucking in so many animals. That plus that a lot of people in that valley do extensive trapping. They're taking a lot of coons, a lot of coyotes, a lot of possums, and then, good doe management. It all adds up for like everybody. Whether it's Aaron Spencer or the boxes, they're all pulling great deer out of that area. And I think it's a culmination of things, right? It's always more than one thing, but I'd be willing to bet that there's a heavy. Now, if you're in an area that doesn't have such heavy mineral concentration, just naturally, we can reproduce that a little bit. What I always thought was kind of funny about the whole corn baiting type of thing, I put in for Kansas every single year, and you can't go near a farm without seeing a feeder. A big one. One of them Texas feeders.
Gravity. Yeah.
And all those deer, I mean, you cross that state line, they put on 50 pounds. And it's just like, it's hard to argue. It's like, because the MDC will say, we have too many deer. You guys need to start killing more does, start killing more of this. Well, we don't want you to use minerals. We don't want you to use I will say the gun season is very generous. It's very long. It's in the peak time. You can, whack as many does as you want for like what, $7
$7 a tag.
Right. So guys like us who really want to get after it can, me and my wife, we eat pretty much deer meat year round now. We buy beef as like a treat.
Sure.
Sure. Yeah.
It's definitely how we like doing it. But I like, because you guys have sort of pioneered that whole whack-a-doe type of thing with your brand. So how has that looked in the past? Have you had a lot of other people kind of getting involved with that? Tell me a little bit about that.
You go, because most of that runs through you.
Yeah, the whack-a-doe, when I can't remember exactly how many years we're into that now.
Probably 4 seasons ago when you started it.
But we kind of figured it would be very localized because of our followership was kind of localized in the beginning, and it blew up. We had entries from New York, Indiana. We had entries from the Dakotas, and we even had one guy contact us, want to know if he could put his Canadian doe that he killed, north of the border in there. And I'm like, we got to keep it to the lower 48, but
and all the surrounding 4-state area, like everything close to us, Texas,
it just started blowing up. And the whole premise behind the thing is exactly this, because we have said this many times on our podcast when we were doing them, and anybody we talk to. Doe management is crucial. Now, the mama, she has a lot of genetic influence on what boy is walking by, what his headgear looks like, and again, your nutrients and the minerals and everything else in that area. However, it is no different than when you're trying to create the habitat for your deer to stay stress-free. Because we know bucks get stressed out. And it's just no different than you being at the house and your spouse has 10 of her best friends come over. What are you going to do?
I'm going to call
my buddy and I'm going to see what he's got going on.
and you're leaving. That's the whole point.
Concept.
That is the point. Because whenever you develop a spot of land and you're holding doe after doe, and they're fawning in that area and they're raising their offspring in that area, you're not holding the bucks during the summer. They're gonna cruise by during the fall, just like do a scent check, say, hey, Sally smells like she's ready. I'm gonna go over and introduce myself to her, and boom, there they go, and then they're gone. So that is the thing that we try not to do. I am not so strong on spring food plots anymore, because I don't want to create that problem. And we had it for a little bit, and didn't realize it until a January hunt, probably maybe 5 years ago. And I was in my tree and had 30 does in that field. And I'm like, this is a problem. So
not a big field.
Yeah.
And that property is, what's the surrounding acreage on that?
Well, it's 2 miles. It runs 2 miles north and south and 1 mile east and west. It's a big rectangle section, but it's 2 miles by 1 mile.
Mm-hmm.
And we're in the middle of that.
And we're the only one that does food plots
Hmm.
in the whole thing.
Yeah.
And
the rest of it's cut for hay and
yes,
okay,
yes,
yeah.
farmland or it's just hardwoods
Mhm.
that aren't necessarily good hardwoods for the deer.
Sure.
A lot of walnut, mature walnut, not necessarily the small walnuts where they can get the saplings.
Yeah, so these does have literally so much area they could be in.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they were all just
Mhm.
right on
That's
top of
great.
us.
Yeah.
So made a phone call because we talked to all the property owners around us. We're in good communication with them and said, hey, we need to be whacking some does this year.
We're not in good enough communication with them because I saw some bucks that one of them shot this year, and I've never seen those deer. And there's a reason I didn't see those deer because they were about 170 inches.
Yeah.
So he's hiding something from us.
Youth season back to back.
You use it, and mind you. I'm filming a 160 something inch. I don't know. It'll probably be like a 14 or a 15. That we've had him for 3 years. 3 years, I know.
Oh, that's gonna be huge.
Yeah, he's gonna be. I don't know what we're gonna do this year. I might have to take a rifle out because I can't.
You gotta shoot him with the dart. And
That's right.
So,
shoot that dart.
Right, we'll get to that. But I had him at 80 yards this year, broadside.
Yeah.
But the bow I was with, I wasn't comfortable making that shot. Now that we've advanced to darting, that pin's probably going to be set for me because of him.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, back to that. We're in communication with everybody. We're all on the same page.
Yes, and it worked out well because the wackadoe season even it runs. I even made the comment. I don't care if you use a hatchet. If you whack a doe, put the entry in there because we need to get our doe numbers in check.
Yeah,
and it's gone all over the central United States, but it goes to both coasts. I mean, well, not necessarily over. Deer are even smart enough they don't go to California, but but
and if they do, they stay in Northern California,
the very northern people.
Nice. Yeah.
And what's also helped us is we've had a whole bunch of people donate stuff to it.
Okay.
Yes.
So we've got a couple of people that have just bought like some covert trail cameras, and they just send them to Dad and be like, hey, give this away because we do a drawing every the 15th. Is it the 15th?
Yeah.
Every month of season, we do a drawing. We always start off the year with like the first entry. So whoever gets the first entry, that's a prize. Aaron won that one last year and then donated it back.
Aaron Spencer?
Yeah.
Dude, that guy, I went to the Ducks Unlimited banquet with him. I was sitting there and he won like 2 things.
Yeah.
That Browning A5. I was just like, come on, guys, what's going on here?
Come on, this guy doesn't need it.
He can't win everything.
Right. Right. He's got all the connections in the world at the store, but
he's lucky. He's got some crazy luck.
But that's played a big role in it is having people donate. So I'm really hoping to get ahead of it this year to start because we ran out of prizes pretty quick there at the end.
Yeah.
It just worked out, but that's been huge. So I'm probably going to open it up this year on social media for us. To tell like business, like if a business wanted to sponsor it, like we can shout them out that whole month saying this is the prize because that's what we'll do. We usually post like once or twice, say, hey, just a reminder, wackadoe, giving away this camera here, whatever, and then we do a live drawing on the 15th, and so that's been awesome. But
so how it works is like during that hunting season, guys who is it however many does they kill?
Yep.
Yes.
Unlimited.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Every doe is an entry.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, Jeremy Whittle.
Yeah.
I don't know how he didn't win last year. He had like 42 entries in that thing. He was just whacking does left and right.
Like every time you wake up, Jeremy be like, hashtag wackadoe. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like, you're gonna win one of these eventually. But
well, and the properties he hunts have good bucks on them because of it. Yeah. Because if we think about it, where a property has a certain amount of holding capacity, whether it's acorns, whether it's beans or corn or whatever. I'm reminded of a property that I hunted in Arkansas. About 10 minutes south of Fayetteville. Like nobody hunted this hillside. It was just totally kind of neglected for a while. Well, no does were taken out of there, anything. And full of oaks, acorns all over the ground, right? But there'd be so many does in there, they're all running around skinny looking like Victoria's Secret models. And I'm like, well, if we killed some of these does, there'd be more food for the ones who have
competition.
And like you were saying, a lot of the studies suggest that antler growth and size is predetermined in utero.
Yep.
Right. So if you're like, I'm just going to cater to the does, I'm going to essentially give her a penthouse and a buffet and just give her the best environment possible. The fawn that she drops could be your next stud.
Yep.
Right.
In however many years.
Could be.
I think that's where everybody gets, and by no, like sometimes I think people will occasionally like put us on a pedestal. We're not, like, we're literally normal. I promise you this. He can vouch for better than anybody. I have shot 140-inch 8-points and then turn around and shot a 75-inch 8-point. I am the non-pickiest guy you're ever gonna find.
Yeah.
He is 10 times more patient than me. One of our guys, Ethan Hatfield. Ethan's just an absolute killer. He's a very patient guy. He's like that. BJ not as patient. He's BJ's in the middle.
BJ's a neck shooter.
Yeah, we'll leave that one for BJ to explain one day. But like, we're definitely not experts, but I do think we have a pretty good understanding of, like, I think a lot of people mess up because they think hunting and shooting big bucks is, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to find a big buck, and I'm just going to shoot him. And it's like, no, dude.
Yeah.
Hunting is creating an environment to bring the buck to you.
Right.
If you're going to chase a buck, good luck. That's hard.
Or find that environment in a national forest or
yes.
area.
You have to. It's the environment. You have to create that. Just like you said, skinny does. I always tell people that, like, anti-hunter people, I'm like, imagine we're locked in the house and I got one box of cereal and there's 6 of us. We're starving.
Yeah.
But what if there's only 2 of us?
Can make it work.
We might survive for a little bit. That's the same concept with deer. And the place that he hunts the most, where he shot his biggest one, Cactus Jack, which was what,
185 and 3/8.
185 and 2. We can show you him after this.
Yeah.
Just an absolute freak. We had him for 4 or 5 years.
He was 5.5 when we killed him. 5.5 or 6.5.
5.5. So the only time this is a 40-acre parcel.
50.
Or 50 acre parcel. The bottom half of it is a house in a 10-acre field. Probably stretched unhuntable, probably 10 there.
Yeah.
10 unhuntable.
Because we don't hunt by the house.
Yeah.
That's kind of a sanctuary. We don't do that.
Yeah.
So, but up on the hill is what we call the sanctuary. There's a hill up by the house. It's probably a cutout, probably 7 acres of woods.
Yes.
I kid you not. The only time I've ever stepped in that was to go look for that buck.
Wow.
That's how important we made it, because we know that's their bedding area.
Yep.
And we do not mess with I couldn't, if you dropped me off in the middle there, I couldn't tell you where I was.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know what direction is what, because the only time we looked was when there's a 180-inch deer somewhere on the ground.
Wow.
Yep.
And so, like, it's things like that I think people overlook, not committing to being like, like, I'm telling you, like, not even as much as take one step in. There's a road back there and it's on the right side. Squirrel hunting, like when we go do our squirrel hunting, like, it's just a no-go. You are not allowed to touch that place 365 days a year. So
that's huge.
But that produces a place for him to hide, because I'll let you tell that story, and I'm going to preference it with, if this deer would have ever crossed me, I would have shot it.
Yeah.
Before it was.
Sorry for the interruption. We're back, and we were just talking about the sanctuary where you killed that 185.
Yes. So when we first went to this place, it was a very quick discovery for us that was a sanctuary. I mean, we started, when we were doing our walking on the property, we started knowing deer after deer just popping out of it, and we're like, there's a reason why deer keep popping out of this area. So we pretty well stayed out of it, and that would
have been 2015. I was in college.
Okay. I was going to say, I can't remember when we bought this place. So, about 10 years ago, something like that. And we just never went back to it. We established that as a sanctuary. That was their safe haven. We didn't do anything with it. And I'm big on safe havens for the whitetail. And we had this place called the Fork in the Road, is what we called it. And it was my first encounter with Cactus Jack standing underneath me at 2.5 years old, and he was funky.
He already had junk.
Yes. Well, I got him at 18 months old in eating in a food plot, and that's how I got his name, because he literally had his head looked like cactus quills,
and he was trying to double main beam out.
They were everywhere.
It was just
everywhere, And I was like, oh man, he's going to be interesting, if somebody will let him go. Because at that time we hadn't had an agreement with all the landowners, and if it was brown, it was down type of deal. And we got to going, and as soon as I got him on film, and come home and watched it, and I'm like, oh man, he's going to be good. And he's like, I'm going to kill him, Dad.
I told him.
I'm going to kill him right now.
I remember sitting there, when it was on TV, I said, Dad, that deer walks across me, I'm shooting it.
Yeah.
And there wasn't but 40 inches of horn there. It was just a super gnarly setup. And I was like, yeah, Dad, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm shooting that deer. Just so there's no shock factor when I pull up and it's in the back of my truck.
Yeah.
But he was already on, I believe it was his left side that came out first. He was already double main beaming and palmating at 2.5.
That's how stupid I was.
And this side,
yeah, I mean, that's crazy.
This side was like 4, 5, 6 daggers, and anyone else would have shot it because they said he's never going to amount to anything. Kill him, kill that spike. He's always going to be a spike his entire life. Not true, but we let him go, and he was a smart deer.
Yeah,
very smart, and we had actually thought we had lost him, that someone had killed him, and we just didn't see it.
Did you find his sheds that year or anything?
No.
Oh, we couldn't find sheds if you laid him on his porch.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is. We just don't come across sheds.
This property, I've only found 1 or 2 sheds out there ever, and I don't know if it's because they leave prior to that time of dropping, or they're just across the fence, or the squirrels out there just annihilate them, and we can't find them. However, it was, dadgum, I can't even remember what year I killed him. 20?
1920.
It was supposed to be, I'm huge about following the weather, barometric pressure. I'm big on that. He's not so much big on it. I'm big on watching the wind, which way it's going, depending on which stand I'm going to sit in.
I'm big on wind. I'm not really big on...
He is big on wind. They lied. The meteorologist lied to me. And then I know that's a surprise to everybody, right?
Yeah. They never get that one wrong.
But I was sitting in that stand that day, and it was gray, overcast, kind of felt a little wet. No deer moving anywhere. And this is a property that we see 15, 20 deer per sit.
Yeah, you're not getting skunked.
Yeah.
There.
And I thought, I can't hurt anything. I'm not seeing anything, so I might as well go through a rattling sequence, because it was October. I can't remember.
It was justifiable.
I have bow season still.
Yes, bow season. Okay. Yes, because I will go out and whack a doe really quick, or a couple whack a does really quick during season. And if it's 100 degrees, I'm crazy. I'm going to go out there and sweat. I'm going to whack me a doe, and I'm going to take care of it. But October 17th, and 9 days after that, I'm in the stand because of the history that I have on our properties. I know they're really, really moving hard, and they're searching for does. So I thought, might as well go through a rattling sequence, and I did. Didn't see anything for a little bit, and I'm messing around, and I turn around, and I'm like, that's a shooter, and he's
160 yards from you?
160, 180 yards from me.
In your water trough, that would
He's
never
at the
work.
water tank.
But that would never work.
Right.
A big buck would never come into a water trough.
Yeah. We have water tanks on every one of our leases.
Okay.
And I be intermodal container totes that I fill up here at the house, and I take water to them all summer long. And even done it this spring or early this year already. But the water tank was in a food plot, and everybody told me it'll never work.
A buck will never come into that.
And I have videoed so many big bucks at that water tank. It's unreal.
And mind you, it's what gallon is that?
It's a 500 gallon.
500 gallon cattle trough.
Yeah.
And these deer live with cattle.
It's buried. It is buried.
You don't get any cows taking a bath in there or nothing?
Well, nope. Occasionally we'll get a cow that's not supposed to be in there.
Yeah.
And we'll have to take it back. But no, the cattle, for the most part, the farmers do a good job of keeping them on their side.
So he was the only deer that came out that night. Was Cactus Jack. Came and ate in the main food plot, and of course I'm seeing him and zooming in on my camera, and I'm just kind of like, oh yeah, he's a shooter, not recognizing who it is just exactly yet. And I ground at him, nothing.
Right.
He had no worries about me.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes and he checks a scrape, goes out and he eats, and he comes back to the scrape and he does his deed in it. And I thought, now I'm probably 25 minutes into filming him. And I'm like, I don't have anything to lose. So I snort wheezed him. Changed everything.
Really?
Changed everything. And as soon as I challenged him, to me, he came and he started destroying whenever I harvested him, I could stick 2 fingers in between his beams. Of course, when he dried, he overlapped because he came in. But he destroyed every sapling that he came to. Uh-huh. And of course, I'm filming him doing it. And then here comes another little 2.5-year-old buck or what have you from the north property. And he comes and he sniffs around on Cactus Jack. And I'm thinking, man, I can shoot him. He's at 55 yards. And we shoot all the time. At 60 yards, we're shooting all the time. So we can be very proficient at that distance. And I just said, no, be patient. You've already filmed him this long. And I ended up getting 45 minutes of film of this deer before he came to me and offered me a less than 18-yard shot.
Wow.
And I didn't make the best shot. Uh-huh. But, we harvest, or I shot him. And then, of course, you're a wedding.
I was at a wedding.
Yeah. and I call, of course, we're big about that. We call each other on the phone, and I'm like, Cade, I just shot a monster.
Yeah.
He's like, it's palmated. He's like, how big? He's like, it's a monster. I don't know. I was like, well, how was the shot? He goes, I don't know. I was like, I think it was good enough, And I mean, honestly, 45 minutes was probably the best thing that could happen.
Yeah.
Because I think if he would have just popped up on you as big as he was,
yep,
I think you'd have been like in such shock.
Yeah.
You had enough time to get
really let me control my breathing and all of my stuff.
Yeah.
So I go down and check the blood. And of course, I'm filming him running off. My arrow was still in him. And, kind of my heart kind of sank when I got down there because it was deep red blood.
Liver.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
mind you, weather's coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that gets tough. That gets real tough.
So,
because they say you want to give them, 6 to 8 hours on the liver shot?
Yeah.
Yes.
On the low side.
At that time, I wasn't, I didn't know it was I got down, but when I watched him run off, because I'm trying to follow him through the camera off the viewfinder, right? And I'm just not seeing everything. But when I find the liver, I go to the place that I know was the last place I saw him just to make sure he's still bleeding. Sure enough, he was. And we come home, we eat dinner, or I come home and ate dinner. And
you grabbed Cooper. I didn't get to go out the first night.
Coop came out. We got the property owner, and we get out there, and we bump him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we're done. Well, we hear a deer run off, and I think it's him, and it probably was him because I did find where he had bedded down, and there was a pile of blood the next morning. But we get out there the next morning, and we can't find him. And first deer that I've ever had that actually walked a circle around a brush pile, and then walked back down the same path he came in, and then ventured off.
Interesting.
It totally blew my mind that happened. And
you don't even believe it when you're following the blood on something like that.
I'm like, oh no, we've lost it. We're back on the original trail or whatever. But that's exactly what had happened. And we spent the next 40 hours looking for that deer.
Did you bring in dogs or anything?
I had contacted a tracker out of Kansas.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember where he lived, but he was actually on a track that night, and he said, okay, he said, send me a picture of the deer. Of course, we had screenshotted it and from the camera, and he said, okay, I'll meet you. We were going to meet in Webb City.
Was he judging it to see if it's worth his time?
Yes.
Money, man, right?
That was exactly it.
The price goes up.
Yeah. And we were going to meet at Webb City that next morning, and I was going to take him out to this farm, which is 30 minutes south of there. Mm. And unfortunately, we get 4 inches of rain that night.
Dogs are no.
And we've been walking on it.
Yep.
And we did not know that at the time.
Yeah, we were pretty green on that tracking stuff.
When he shoots it, I literally had, like, that week just went and bought Doc, who is my golden retriever.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And Doc has I specifically got Doc to track.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I was going to use him. I was pimp him out. I thought I was going to do that, but then I had kids, and I was just like, yeah, no, this dog is solely for us. Like, I was like, I'm not going, and also I'm not ruining my next day hunt because you made a bad shot.
Doc could find a deer in a tornado.
Yeah. But so we have Doc, who is 7 weeks old. Oh. So we got him a day late and $1 short. So we had not studied into that. We didn't know anything. We didn't know any better to pull out for a dog yet at that point. We had never had to use a dog ever.
Yeah. We were ignorant to just because we didn't know. Mm-hmm. And so anyway, obviously with Foresters Rain, he calls me and says, it's not going to do any good. Mm-hmm. And I said, totally understand. And I called the guys at the field staff. There was just 3 of us on field staff at that time. And I said, guys, of course I was coughing because I'd been calling in sick to work. Anyway.
Yeah, he's lost like 25 pounds due to stress over the last 72 hours.
Yeah. But I told him, I said, I'm not asking you to come. It's raining. It's going to be miserable, but I'm going back out there. And both of them said, what time you want us to meet at the gate?
Yeah.
And so we met down there, and that's whenever we went to the sanctuary, because that's where he was going.
Oh, so, he returned home.
Yes.
That's the safest place he can possibly think of.
Yes.
So what we didn't know, what we didn't piece together until the next day, we were following his rubs. He just followed his rubs. All he did. He followed his rubs absolutely and shot out the backside of the sanctuary.
Wow.
Straight back.
Huh.
And we decided we're going to grid the sanctuary. Mm-hmm. And that's how we done it. And it's got brush piles, it's got fallen trees, it's got all kinds of stuff in it. Mind you, my arrow was still in him with a lighted knock.
That helps.
You would think.
If the battery doesn't die.
Right.
Oh no, it wasn't dead.
Okay.
Never ever found this deer.
Huh.
And of course I'm at my wit's end, right? And we are actually back in the barn, Norm and I, and all of a sudden we hear this yelling going on. I thought, crap. Stallion has tripped and fell in a brush pile and he's broke his leg. And I go outside, I can't hear him, get him on the phone, and he's like, where are you guys at? And I'm like, we're here at the barn. He's like, I found him.
No.
So here's the crazy part. When we found him, I immediately timestamped it. 56 hours from the shot. 56 hours. So it wasn't quite 3 days, but 56 hours. So again, to backtrack, shoots him, films him where he goes in, follows him in, heading straight to the sanctuary. They back out, whatever. Follow him through the sanctuary. We lose blood in the sanctuary. It starts to peter off downhill. So it's a big hillside. Mm-hmm. Feeds down into the neighbor's property. They were cool with us looking. They didn't mind.
Called them, let them know.
This is a field that cattle stays in. So it is, for the most part, grass ate down like this. Like there's not a lot. There's a few patches where maybe like they drop some logs or something that is just growing up brown. They're not brush hogging. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm just like, okay, I gotta figure this deer out.
And I was there the day before.
Yeah, we had searched this whole area that led down to this fence. And I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, this thing's got an arrow in it. Probably doesn't want to jump. Probably don't want to jump over a fence. And if it does, that's gonna move that arrow. I'm gonna find blood. Mm-hmm. Its antlers are entirely too big to fit under a fence. So I was like, I'm just gonna search this whole fence. So I just go up. I walk all the way to a point like it was like, okay, this is ridiculous. This deer did not come up here. Started there, checked this whole fence all the way down. Don't find anything. And I'm like, gosh dang, I gotta pee. So I'm sitting there. I don't know why. I stand on a log. I start peeing. I'm looking around and I'm like, look over a spot that I don't know if I overlooked it, if there was something that I didn't get to it. And I'm like, those barbed wires, those strands are snapped. I'm like, there's only 2 rungs. I'm like, he totally could have stepped over this. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, huh. So I go, and I'm thinking, and the way this field is, it's a big bottom, and it's a real stiff grade on about an 18-foot incline right there. And I'm like, he's dead on that hill. There's no way at this point, there's no way this deer could have made it up this hill without killing himself. And I'm like, I'm just going to walk this field. Knowing full well we had already been down there the day before. We grid searched this exact field. I start walking, and sure enough, man, I'm walking, and I just see an arrow sticking up dead in the middle of the field. And I'm like, there's no freaking way. I'm like, there's no freaking way. We were here. We were here in this field.
Yeah, yeah.
And sure enough, he's dead in the middle of this field, laying up. Really wasn't even that stiff. Was not stiff.
So he probably died within
couple hours of us finding him.
Yeah.
His hind leg was eaten up just a tiny bit.
Okay, so the coyote's got out there.
But Dad, we saw the video when Dad gets his hands on him, Dad picks him up and bends him. Like, it wasn't like rigor mortis where, like, you know how some of them deer, you can't move at all.
Well, it could have been post rigor too, where he had been dead long enough.
Well, my only thought is we were in that field.
Right.
And there, like, when I tell you this deer was in the middle of this field, there's no chance we missed him.
Yeah.
And the knock is still lit.
Right.
Still lit. So, like, we were like, what is going on here? We celebrate and everything, and the only conclusion we can come to is off the back of the sanctuary, he bedded down in that middle part of that grade. He just bedded down up there to where we weren't like, we didn't like, it's enough of a grade, you don't want to like walk it and go hang out in it. So I don't know if he got in that, thought this is hard, and bedded down, and he had to have just watched us the day before search.
Sure.
And it's dark enough and thick enough and so much trash in there that you can't see the light of knock. I mean, seriously, we're 40 yards apart, and sometimes you lose each other. It's just that thick.
Well, and it's the type of thing too, like I'm thinking of like mule deer, how they'll kind of bed. If you have a big boulder, they'll kind of bed on the bottom side of it, where it's like they can see everything downwind and smell anything coming up their way, and then anything coming from over the top is going to make too much noise, too much ruckus, trying to get down over them. So he employed a similar tactic to survive.
No, and so we'll never know, but we're pretty sure that deer sat there and watched us walk around that field.
Yeah,
had to have watched us walk around that field.
And of course, whenever I took him after his drying period. Took him to get officially scored because I was trying to do it, but it's so non-typical that I was having trouble coming up with a good number. And once the score was done, I was required to submit a narrative and video to prove that I wasn't hunting again for another deer, because then you lose that score.
What do you mean? So, like, if you shot that deer before you recovered it, you're like, well, that hunt's over. I'm just going to go back in the stand. Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yep. And so I had to write a narrative. Of course, here we are. We're young into, well, we're not. We're 2 years into filming ourselves, and so we've got hours and hours of video footage.
No, we're more than 2 years.
I thought 17, 18 is when we started. If we killed him at 20,
16.
So we're 3 years into filming, so we've got cameras everywhere. And that was, it was easy for them to say, oh yeah, he didn't give up on this deer. He continually stayed after this deer.
Yeah, because we filmed we were trying to film the recovery. So that was easy to prove.
Oh, it was raining hard that day.
So hard.
Yeah. But it was great.
But all that to say, that deer was killed because of that sanctuary. If we would have went in and trampled, he clearly was smart enough to, because again, the people down where he came from, they're hunters. Like, they're very, very much hunters.
Killers.
Yeah. They'll do whatever they need to do. So for him to have survived all that, I'm like, man, he had been on a tight pattern down there.
And nobody had him on camera or anything? None of the neighbors or nothing?
Well, but see, we don't know.
Oh, okay.
Because they don't,
close.
No, they don't divulge that information.
Oh, okay.
No, because again, those 2 bucks that were shot out there this last year, I'm like,
yeah,
those are insane deer, and I'd never seen them.
So, well, first of all, congratulations. That sounds like one heck of a buck. I mean, that's incredible. I am curious about the sanctuary. Now, what about like the topography there made you want to do that? Like, what is it that makes it such a good sanctuary? Is it a high bench? Is it cut? What's the topography like that? So if people are like, I want to make my own sanctuary and kill 185.
Right.
What would you recommend?
It sets right off of a probably, I'm going to say 100-yard wide saddleback.
Yep.
And then at the end of the saddleback, it opens up into cattle ground. On the far east side of it like goes straight down. Yeah. It's a bluff, and it's not conducive for deer to sit there. But on the west side of it, it drops down to a pretty good grade that goes down, and it's full of blackberries, it's full of vines, it's full of big mature trees.
Junk that nothing's getting through quietly.
And as Ted Nugent says, it's got a lot of habitat hotels in it, brush piles, things of that nature.
Yeah.
And it's just old, dilapidated hardwoods.
Yeah.
Now, does it need a burn for fresh regrowth?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but if you're going to establish that for a sanctuary or for them to set and go, yeah, absolutely not. Leave it alone.
Yeah,
and
when you can get that in the Ozarks. You know, we have so many of those deep cliff faces that obviously nothing's getting up or down that. And if you got that nice pinch point there, all those thermals are going to run right up that. So
thermals are huge.
Anything coming a mile away.
Yep,
ton of cover. I mean, sounds like a real honey hole, really.
Yeah, and it was more of probably a no-brainer. It wasn't like, oh, we know so much. Because we've honestly learned more ever since we started filming than anything.
Yeah.
Just because of research and making sure things, just getting more into it. But it was also just like when we showed up, there was just deer everywhere. So you're like, oh, okay, noted.
Mm-hmm.
This is obviously super, super nice right here. And then you start, like, we're really big into Jeff Sturgis, Whitetail Habitat Solutions.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Jeff Sturgis has changed the way that we hunt. Guys like that. So we start reading, start doing all that. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, yeah, everything he's saying, like thermals. And like, no, that place is nice. So now that translates to other leases. We can go and now we can look at it and be like, yes, that's a good spot. Let's stay out of there. This is not worth our time. You know, that kind of deal. So that property really has grown with us as hunter. It's grown us. If anything, we've learned a lot just from being out there.
That property, actually, the property that we're on now, the lady that owns that property actually owned this property.
Oh, really?
Yes.
The one we're sitting on now?
Mm-hmm. Right now.
Oh, okay.
And it wasn't this porch because of the tornadoes a couple of years ago, but we sat on this porch and we done a handshake deal for me to buy this property.
Wow.
And we just got to know each other. And of course, I was telling her about the boys, you know, that we like to hunt and we do all this. And she's like, well, you need to come out to my other property and you need to see it. There's big deer out there. Okay. What's your definition of a big deer?
Sure, lady.
You little cute old lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Rebecca, of course, now she's gone now, but she went on for a couple of years like, why don't you come out here? Blah, blah, blah. Just see my deer. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to come out there. I'm just going to look. And when my stepdad and I call him, I said, hey, would you come with me? I'm going to need help setting up this stand because youth season is 2 or 3 weeks away or 4 weeks away. And I'm going to take Coop out there, which is the baby. And I just want to get it set up and I want to go out and I want to do some recon on it. I want to see what's up there. Well, this place that I picked in this 50 acre sits on top of a 5 to 7 acre clear patch where years ago the people used to do corn. That's where they had their produce that they were growing. And I'm just sitting there not seeing anything. And I hit the ground a couple of times and the field's all grown up. It's horrible. Mm-hmm. Horrible for seeing, great for whitetail. Yeah. And I'm like, down at the end of it, which was probably 300 yards away, I just see stuff moving. And I'm like, what is that? Doesn't see anything. And then all of a sudden, boom, there he is.
The same Cactus Jack.
No. This is the very first deer that I harvested off there was 140-inch 10-point. Very first deer I ever saw in that place.
Probably,
and I killed him.
Probably only 4 years old.
Probably but I killed him. Mm-hmm. And I was hooked. I was like,
a new lease, you just get excited about it. And
she knows exactly what she's talking about.
Yeah.
Dad calls me. I'm actually at my mom's mom down in Seneca. Me and buddies, I'm playing baseball at Crowder, and me and some buddies went down to eat. We'd go eat with her on during the week, and Dad calls. He's like, I just shot a good one. I'm like, we're on our way. Let's go. I'm like, wrap it up, boys. Let's go. And so me and my friends, we went and helped him drag it, and it was honestly a good shot. He did not make it.
No, he
too far.
Yeah, and
he didn't really need us, but it was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it was amazing.
It's a great thing to be a part of. You know, if you're not trying to hide a spot from a bunch of people, like for me, I'm like, nope, I'm throwing this joker in a backpack over my shoulders, and I'm not telling anybody.
Nobody, right? Taking AI in the background out of it,
right? Seriously though,
But that property has been very good for us, and I don't know how many Pope and Youngs I've killed off that one.
All out of the same tree.
I've killed one Boone and Crockett out of it, and probably
I think you were on a four-year streak of Pope and Young up until last year.
Every year, yeah.
And Poper is 140, isn't it?
125, 130.
I think Pope and Young is 125.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like there's more than anything great genetics in that area. And that's half the battle sometimes. It's not something you have no control over.
Right.
That, really.
People miss that part.
Yeah.
They miss. That's what I hate. And again, patient, gonna run into the big stuff. Not patient, gonna shoot small stuff.
But there for several years they had all the minerals and nutrients they needed because they were on the 710 all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It could be 110 degrees in the middle of July or August. Our cameras are going off and there's 4 or 5 deer at that mineral lick.
Yeah.
Just because of what it does for them.
I think about it like, if I do a big workout or hit a sauna or something like that, the first thing I'm doing when I get home is like some Mountain Op electrolytes, right? Replenish all of that stuff that I just lost. Those deer, they got that freaking fur jacket on all day long, probably sweating their butt off. Because that's how they used to. There was some what was it? How they would run them off essentially until they would chase them until they died of exhaustion, right? Because they can't sweat,
right?
So, but there's got to be something to it, and obviously we're very, very different than deer, but I know minerals in my body.
No, we're different, but we're not.
Yeah,
we just. I mean, think about it. Like cavemen weren't eating every 3 hours.
No.
They were eating when they needed to eat. Like we just obviously that's a different subject. We've been totally, sugar, ding dongs, things like that.
I mean, I'm such a conspiracy theorist, man. That's big bread and flour and sugar.
That's a plan, right? Yeah. So these deer, like, we're really not that far off, and to go back to what you said about the genetics, I'm such a hunter's hunter. Like if you send me a 60-inch deer or you a 160-inch deer, I'm gonna be jacked either way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm gonna be so jacked. And I get really bothered and I argue with a lot of people, especially during season, because they get so caught up on like, we need to go to a 1 buck tag state. And I'm like, okay, time out. First off, how many people do you know that fill 2 tags?
It drops off significantly.
Minuscule. And how many of them are hardcore hunters that are your bow hunters that are only shooting 150-inch deer? So I'm like, get out of here. Because the reality is, genetically, like this property, 120 inches might be the biggest deer out of here.
Sure. It's possible.
You don't know that. That might. So I'm like, that's not a big deal. Obviously out of Diamond. If you can go out there, go south of here, the George Washington Carver area right there in Diamond, big deer. Big deer there. Why?
Big deer.
Well, that's it's a state-funded place. They've done great. Mm-hmm. You do a lot. You go into Neosho, Aaron Spencer shooting big deer all the time.
Bicentennial.
Because it's good. Of that.
I'll tell you a story off camera of somebody who just got some phenomenal property right up on Bicentennial.
Yeah.
So like, you can't. There's with people. I'm like, you got to take everything with a grain of salt, man. Mm-hmm. My 120-inch deer might be as impressive as your 160-inch deer. Mm-hmm. Because that's just they're just prevalent, like they're there. The place I hunt, so Dad hunts that location with Cactus Jack more than anybody. I would prefer to hunt funnels and things like that between woods. I want to find them on their paths. I don't know. I don't mind a food plot, but I just naturally am closer to. I want to be in on the action.
He's a saddle hunter too.
I just switched over to a saddle,
access.
So now that's more on my. More up my alley, but I got a place here north of town that I have hunted religiously for the last 7 years, and it's 11 acres, and it's 72 yards wide by like 650.
I think it's 1,000 long.
Whatever it is, but it's only 72 yards wide. It's almost like
one
a
of those
Sendero.
Properties that they split up, and this guy kind of got left in the fray.
Yep, there's 4 of them that are all within a family, and so like there. I know I'm never going to hold big deer. No. I won't. There's 11 acres. I just can't hold big deer, and it's 72 yards wide. There's no chance I'm going to hold it. But I know out there, the gene pool, I'm going to have 150 inches every single year. Mm-hmm. Every single year, I'm going to have one come through, or usually a handful come through. But I always take it with a grain of salt because I'm like, I'm probably not shooting 180 inches out there. Mm-hmm. I might not shoot 180 inches ever, but out at Diamond, that's a real possibility.
It's a possibility.
Like that's a real I'm gonna pass up 125-inch deer because of that. If I hunt that place out north, 125 inches walks by me,
but
not even close.
There's always a but, right?
Right.
Always a but. This place, Deuce, was this deer. He was, if you just saw a picture of his horns only, you'd say mule deer.
Really?
Big, tall forks, big spread out, little bitty eye guards or brow tines. And when we first saw this deer, we figured he was 6.5.
Okay. Yeah.
When we first saw him,
5.5 for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
And of course, he's a typical old buck. The only pictures we ever got of him were at night. So obviously, your nighttime pics are a little bigger. It's a little hard to tell.
I think we had a couple daytimes in like 3 weeks before season.
But
he just knew.
No, they're
just knew
by that time. Yeah.
But anyway, we could never never saw this deer. Never ever saw this deer. Fast forward 3 years later, and right at dark, because we got to rethink in our process. Of course, we're listening to Mr. Sturgis all the time. We're revamping our philosophy, what we need to do when we need to, because we're bow hunters, right? I mean, if we fill a tag prior to rifle season in Missouri, we put our orange on, and we've got our stick and string in our hand.
Yep, I do the same thing.
And that's just how we do it. And we're looking at this, and I kept telling him, I was like, I think we're missing the boat. The yearlings at December and January.
Wrong deer. Oh, that was the other 8 point. Deuce was right by himself cruising.
Yep. Oh, okay.
You're thinking of the wrong one.
Okay.
But it's same principle. It's later in the season. This place always has a handful of late yearlings. And so we had switched over. The year before Deuce, Dad was like, "Hey, you gotta hunt those yearlings." And I'm like, "Okay, that's all I need to. I'll do that." I see the yearlings are consistently going to be in there, so I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna go out here. It's a really good day." Kind of in that second rut, that basically in that estrus, when I was like, "Okay, one of these does. I got 15 does on camera every day. One of them is going to show. These yearlings for sure are going to be in that gray area." And sure enough, I go out there. This is not Deuce. This is the buck before Deuce. In comes in 137-inch 8 point, tailing these yearlings.
Yeah.
And so I smoke him. Fast forward, because we have not seen Deuce. We have not seen Deuce.
We figured he was dead.
We just assumed he was dead. We did not see him that whole year. Fast forward to the next year, same situation, a little bit later. Really good weather day. And I was like, "Hey, I got the day off. I'm going to go. I'm just going to go out here, hope the same thing happens." And sure enough, he made the mistake if he got up 2 minutes early. I shot him with 2 minutes of shooting light left. 2 minutes of shooting light. It was the crazy. On my GoPro, it looks 100% illegal because obviously
there's terrible low light.
Low light on that.
Yeah.
All you see is a knock just go. And but I end up shooting him. I did make a rushed shot. The way he was walking, and it's on film. He's walking quartered to me. The setup I had was comfortable. It was a 15-yard shot.
Yeah.
I knew I was punching shoulder through that at that point. I looked up. All I saw was horns through the woods. I'm like, I don't need to know anything else.
Yeah.
This guy is huge.
Shooter.
Yeah, and he's walking at an angle, and you see it right on the video. Right as I'm about to release, he just takes a hard, sharp turn. I actually missed his antler by about an inch.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I end up spining him. That kind of took a little bit of the...
Did it drop him, though?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still didn't know who his deer was, though.
Okay.
I didn't know. Again, it happened so fast. He got on me so quick. I just was like, that's a ton of horn there. I'm going to shoot. And I drop him, crawl down as fast as I can, go get around him I'm out of his sight, so he's not freaking out, because every time he's looking at me, he's obviously freaking out.
Yeah.
And I end up shooting him again. And I shot him, backed off, because I was like, okay, well, I got to get all this on camera, and I'm by myself. So I climb up, get all my stuff, call Dad. Dad comes out. I have not went and put hands on this deer. Still don't know who it is. And we film, go up. We're super jacked. Like, we're excited. I'm like, holy crap, this thing is freaking huge.
Good deer.
139-inch 8 point. Yep. And I'm like, this is the biggest deer I've ever shot. not really, but 8 points are just different when they get to that size.
Big sexy 8s.
And
but he had no brow tines.
Tiny. They're small.
Very,
yeah,
very tiny.
yeah. And we don't think anything of it. And then we're going through late January. We pulled all our cameras. We're going through our cards. This, we always, do the typical pull off who we want to keep and keep an eye on, put them on the bulletin board next year. And we're sitting there, and this is already Euroed out. It's on the wall. And Dad's clicking through. And he's like, oh, look. He's like, there's Deuce. He's like, that's an old photo. And I was like, hey, whoa. I was like, stop. I was like, Dad, go backwards. And then he goes, why? I was like, go back to Deuce. Dad clicks on a Deuce. He's perfectly broadside on the camera. And Dad's just looking at the camera. I just pull it off, and I sit it in front. I'm like, that's Deuce. He had gotten smaller.
Oh, really?
That's how old he was. He had gotten a little bit smaller.
Were his teeth like all worn down and everything?
We didn't even save the jaw on this one.
Yeah.
Usually we do. That's a big thing of mine. I like to look at the jaw lines because I Euro all of our heads for us. I like to age them out and test my knowledge on what I have on that. And for that one, we didn't do it.
Yeah, because again, we're 4 years earlier. Got him broadside, looking 4 years old as all get out.
Mm-hmm.
And so we think he was probably 8 years old when I shot him. That's probably pretty accurate.
Yeah.
And I mean, but he had went downhill. So like I lost some inches. He finished, what is he, like 139 and
he was almost a 140. But when we had him at his prime, I kept telling him, I said, that's a 60 class deer.
Yeah.
He's big.
Yeah, you hear of deer losing 10 to 15 inches a year sometimes. I mean, it's not uncommon. Once they hit like 7.5, going on 8. Now, sometimes it's not that. Sometimes they really blow up or start throwing some crazy stuff off of them. But I was just listening to a podcast the other day, and the world record Milo Hansen buck.
Right.
That was 4.5-year-old deer.
Right. No, it's weird, man. Genetics is.
And here's the deal about Deuce. The only pictures we got of Deuce was on the 710 mineral.
That's it.
At night.
Yeah.
He loved that mineral.
Mm-hmm.
He was on it all the time.
But clockwork, 15 minutes after shooting light, every single time.
He wouldn't come out.
They're not dumb.
No.
I mean, they're not. It's I almost think about it like energy, right? It's like a sixth sense that they got sometimes.
They totally know.
It's like, oh, if I go just a little too far here, something's a little weird. And the dumb ones will do it. Right, because they're just, like
and
then
then the dumb ones will shoot it.
Right.
The dumb ones will shoot the dumb
You
ones.
and me both. Well,
I always try to get into new hunters when I'm talking to people. I'm like, just as much as you're hunting and patterning them, they're doing the same thing back to you.
Oh yeah,
100%.
They're doing the same exact thing back to you.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. I don't think we give them enough credit at times.
No, because they do dumb stuff, But it's like, look, if you're only got an opportunity to mate once a year,
I'd be doing the dumbest things alive.
I was joking on a podcast with Mad Goat, and I was like, it would be the purge. We would have a purge-like scenario.
No, literally. Yeah.
And come afterwards like, dude, I am so sorry, bro. I don't even know.
Hey, money and women, they'll get you killed.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll get you killed every time.
100%.
But yeah, no, it's and again, that's a tree that, oh man, how many deer we killed out of that tree now? We actually retired it. We retired it this year. Because it was getting ate up. But
the recurve stand.
Recurve stand is what we call it. It's just a producer because we just know when to sit. So the one I shot before that he was talking about, the yearling, I shoot that buck. I shoot him, make a really ballsy quartering 2 shot. It was stupid.
It was a great
learning lesson.
Yeah, quartering 2 tough shot.
I had about this much of a window and I hit it.
But I'm gonna say this for all you haters out there. We practice those distance shots all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's practice.
Yeah.
And the reason I forced it is because he comes in with a group of does. Well, 4 or 5 minutes before him, I had a young buck go downwind of me, and he winded me. He didn't know what to do, but he was like, woof, and took off, turned around, stomped, didn't blow, thank God.
So you're like, I know I got to stream.
Yep. So I know. I was like, okay, I have to shoot him before he gets to here. And so that forced me a little bit. Again, you got to learn. It's hard to post, how it is on social media. And we're over 60,000 followers now, so we get a lot of opinions. Everybody's an expert.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's in the back of my head, but I'm like, also, like, you got to learn. Like, as long as I'm not consistently making bad mistakes over and over, that's part of hunting. Bow hunting is one of the hardest things ever. But I shoot him, hit it, he runs off, and there's right where Dad's stand, because I asked him to go with me that morning, he didn't. Right where Dad's stand is directly in line with a old logging road. I film him for 2 or 3 minutes. standing there, sick. Like, he's sick for sure.
But he's still up.
He's still up,
okay.
but not moving, breathing heavy. Slowly walks off right as the foliage. You see him walk off, and you can't see him behind foliage anymore. I call Dad. I'm about to just like, I don't know. I'm about to sell all my gear. I'm like, Dad, that was a stupid shot. I told him, I have it on video. I'm like, if I don't recover this deer, I'm done for the season. I'm like, I don't deserve to hunt. That was stupid. Like, I took a risky shot. I thought I actually made a worse shot than I did. I actually ended up making a perfect shot.
Perfect.
And I come back here, and I call my father-in-law and my brother-in-law. I'm like, hey, you guys want to come help me?
And we pulled it up on TV. We watched the video. We slow everything down.
And we waited. I shot him like 8 in the morning, and we didn't go out until 4 or so to go find him.
We just giving him time.
That's nice in the morning, though, so you got some daylight.
Clutch.
And it was cold.
Yeah.
And it was
so
cold
he was good.
that day.
Yeah, we weren't worried about losing meat or anything. And sure enough, dude, we get down there, and I come around that bend on that logging road. That deer died where I last saw him.
Yeah.
He was dead right there. If Dad would have been in his stand, Dad would have filmed him going down.
So what was the autopsy like? Heart, lungs?
I destroyed absolutely. I ran right through that bone, and I got
almost a try.
Everything. Yeah. It was a great angle. And I probably wouldn't do it again. To be completely honest,
quartering away easy. You know, you could just be like, I'm aiming for the opposite side shoulder, and it's just going to be going through right there. But you know, that's why like people try and give me a hard time because I'm shooting an 80-pound bow with a 30.5-inch draw, throwing a 470 grain arrow over 300 feet per second. And they're like, you don't need that big of an arrow. I'm like, I don't even think about shoulders.
No, I have zero qualms, dude. Like,
it's hot butter.
Right, and so you know, we switched to dart this year, and we got the Tri-Tex. I went with the 31, but I'm the short guy on the staff. So I mean,
and you like a shorter axle to axle?
I like a shorter axle to axle. I want to, but that come from, especially not as much now that I'm older and I have to be a little bit more specific with my time. You know, when I was younger, didn't have kids before I was married. Like it was like, go hunt 70 times a year. Okay, like, that's no brainer. But I wouldn't mind crawling on the ground going after deer. Like so I didn't want some big bow. You know, I'm stuck in some brush. I didn't want that to run into any issues. I really like the hunting public, so I had switched over to the Adapt. Went with a little heavier setup on that. Switched to a fixed blade for the shoulder stuff. And now that I've switched over to the dart, and I'm like, there's nothing wrong with that Bear Adapt. I just felt like I was a little bit better shooter than that allowed. And so now that we got the Dartons, oh god, that's a different world, man.
It's a phenomenal bow. And it's kind of crazy because I've been talking to a lot of people, a lot of, you know, bow technicians who have access to great equipment. It's like, why is everybody switching to darting? What's going on here? They're and I draw it akin to, you know, when you're new to something, you kind of got that fire and that passion. Darting's not new to the game.
No.
But they are coming back into the market.
Right.
And if they're not being like, we got to get in here and make as much money as we possibly can, let's come in here and make the best product possible. And if maybe, and I'm just speculating, I have no clue on their financials, right? Maybe our profit margins are a little bit thinner, but we're putting the best product onto the market.
Moving more.
And I think that's what's happening.
Well, just like we went and shot, we got BJ set up, and then we got his set up. My favorite thing is they don't lie about their feet per second. Every other company lies. They're it's a guaranteed. There's going to be a 15-foot difference there.
Yeah,
darting spot on every time.
Yep.
And that's why I'm like, in a time where the hunting community is kind of we're kind of our own worst enemy at times.
Oh, big time.
Money's taken over, doing all this. I'm like, that's refreshing. That's super refreshing to know you're not BSing me.
Well, it's that truth and transparency type of thing where it's like, they're not trying to sell you anything. They're not going out buying the biggest names because they could afford big time guys, maybe pull them off of another big bow company or something like that. But they would rather do it more on a grassroots. And I think it goes back to ownership, right? It's like Randy clearly has like a very humble sort of thing, and I love his whole thing of like, I'm not afraid to put verses on the limbs.
No, that was a big deal for us. I was like, oh, so this guy, he's a guy. Yeah, he's a normal guy. He's a guy you go to church with on Sunday. There's like, I don't ever get the greed part. Like they're fairly priced. I know some guys are gonna be like, oh, that's too much for a bow. I'm like, well, whatever. Like,
It's no different than anybody else.
All bows have to cost that much money.
But here's the thing: you can't afford a Tritech. The Conquest? No, Consequence. Consequence is a phenomenal bow in its own right.
So we're Tritech, and then my younger brother, who's a senior in high school or a senior in college, he can't afford to go out there and drop money on a Tri. He's got the Consequence.
Yeah.
So that's what we set him up on.
Well, and I get the Tritech for guys who maybe don't have a great bow technician, like a Jeremy Whittle in their area. It's like, okay, you might need them tuning features.
Yes.
Us, we can go to a great guy, get our stuff set up, hardly even touch the tuning features. You know?
Right. No, if look, Jeremy, I always crack up when Jeremy be like, "What do you want?" I'm like, "Dude, tell me what I want." I'm like, I always tell him, like, if you went out and whittled a couple sticks and told me this was my arrow setup, I'm like, well, I'm sending him down right. I'm not even gonna blink.
Yeah.
Like, so Jeremy's obviously super clutch. He's helped us a ton.
But if let's say you can't afford the full Tritech price, you can get yourself a Consequence. Take it to a bow shop. Maybe the bow shop might charge you an extra $100 or something to get you dialed, bullet holes, totally set up. You can go into the woods with a bulletproof bow.
Yeah.
And that's a phenomenal bow. Yeah. And honestly, very similar draw cycle, just less features. Which, in a way, if you kind of think about it, is almost less fail points, too. You might even be able to be a little bit rougher on it.
Sure.
If it's for a kid who might not, kids can throw stuff on the ground or whatever. And so, there's just so much good things to say about it. And like same with you guys, I switched over, started helping promote their stuff, and it feels good to be kind of on the ground floor or something, because I'm like, they got some fire.
Yes,
there's something happening here, and they're not putting out crap. And I switched from a different bow company that I had some legitimate failures in the woods.
Yep.
And I don't do leases. I'm a public land guy, national forest. Far away from the house, far away from the truck.
You can't mess up.
And I need the most rugged, bulletproof type of thing possible. Shot all the stuff on the market, and Darton was the only choice for me as well. So can't be more proud to be shooting that bow, and I'm excited to see you guys put them to use. I've been seeing you guys' shooting videos, looking deadly accurate. So this year is going to be. I'm excited to see some big deer next year.
I did get to harvest 2 does in January with mine.
Yeah.
Mine came in first. I think I read somewhere that they usually get the coolest guy the bow first. No, that's what I had read.
That's why mine is so late to the game.
No, mine came in first, obviously, because I was a 31. The rest of them are 33s, and BJ's left-handed. Mm-hmm. So I got to go actually run mine out there. Now, I will say, basically, I was shooting traditional because I didn't have a stabilizer. Or a quiver. So I might as well have been shooting a recurve, right?
Sure.
Right?
Yeah. No, that's exactly what that is.
But no, I shot, in that first doe I shot, I was so out of touch with my previous bow as far as speed goes that I aimed at her with the assumption she was going to duck my string a little bit. And that Darton got on her so freaking fast, she didn't have time to duck my string.
Yeah.
And then another one rolls out. I did make that mistake again, and I blew through him. So I got to use it. We actually wanted to go on a hog hunt here.
Yeah.
But we've all got so much going on. I don't know if we're going to get to do a hog hunt anytime soon.
But I would really like to, because I would like for the Midwest Maniacs, our field staff, to go out and we put down 5 or 6 kills on film for Darton.
Yeah.
Because we can do it.
Yeah.
And now we have the product that will definitely do it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's always great to do a hunt like that, or like a Texas management hunt or something, where you could also throw a handful of different broadheads downrange and try something else. I was going to ask you, what broadheads have you guys been enjoying?
I've been using the SICK F3 for the last 2 seasons.
Okay.
That's done good. I was shooting their mechanical before that.
Mm-hmm.
Then Jeremy ended up talking me into switching over to a fixed for that setup. I don't know, man. I think broadheads are kind of, for the most part, I think they're kind of
dime a dozen.
Yeah, they are what they are now. I think it's easy. You see guys like, they'll lose a deer and they'll be like, my broadhead sucks. I need to switch a broadhead company. I'm like, no, there's been a little bit of switching and trying out for us, because obviously getting into this game, we were trying to find someone to build a relationship with. SICK, they did a good job with us. We definitely were taken care of for a while. And then that's, again, like you said, being on the ground floor, like with Darton, I feel like we've already gotten a better relationship with Darton than we did with Bear. And that's not nothing against Bear. I mean, obviously they're major. Like they don't need us at the end of the day. We're irrelevant.
They send 1 million bows to Bass Pro Shop. I think they're going to be okay.
Right. But the thing about like us in this area is like, hey, look, nobody shoots this, and we shoot it, and like I think we could help you. Like we talked to a lot of people. So like with Dart, and I literally have sent it to every single friend I have that hunts. I'm like, you got to go shoot this bow. Like you have to just do it. But sick is who I went through. Did you switch last year?
F3s?
Or were you F3? Were you F3s all last year?
No, I've been using F3s ever since I shot the muley after I retired.
Yeah. So I'd say sick F3s is what we've been shooting.
Yeah.
BJ, I think, is the same.
Yep.
Was Ethan fixed? I can't remember.
I can't remember if Ethan was fixed or not. I thought...
I don't remember what Ethan and Tia shoot.
No, Norm was a rage guy until we put him on the mechanical sick. And then he immediately switched over because it's the biggest full cut on the market.
Right.
I can't remember. It's stupid huge.
Yeah.
He's got a great video of the very first deer we harvested or that was harvested on film with it. He done. And we always said that that doe that he shot, she had a head like a heifer. I mean, she had a huge head on her. But I mean, he literally put his hand beside it. And the gash is from his thumb to the end of his index finger. And it's sick. It really is.
Wow. Again, though, like I think they can, for the most part, I feel like they can almost all do that now. Yeah.
Yeah. And it really is kind of comes down to a preference. Like for me, I shot the Beast Broadheads the past couple years. Really like it. And look, I'll be the first to admit, I am a Bomar fan. I know he's kind of a controversial character.
Yeah. Well, did you see his video? I don't know if I was late to it this week that he posted about their new cut on contacts.
The Beast Cock?
The Beast Cock. He said he's fired from naming broadheads. It's like the Beast Cock coming down range at you. I was like, yeah, that's, but it's good marketing because we're talking about
hilarious.
it. Yeah.
He's such he's playing it off like it was an accident.
No, that's great marketing. Yeah. He's a businessman. He's a businessman through and through.
And it's worked well for him. They're very successful. I like those, but I, with that really, really fast bow, really, really heavy, I don't like something that is relied on deploying from the front.
Yes.
Now the cut on contact could change that, but I am like, I could sacrifice some feet per second by having something that, like the Grim Reaper.
Yeah.
If it comes into contact and as it goes through the hide, it opens up those blades.
Yeah.
I have more than enough coming down range to sacrifice a couple as it comes through. And I know that it's going to stay open as it passes through. And I shot a 130 last year and it literally went 30 yards.
Yeah.
Tuck tail ran off the ground and, got it right in the heart. So it wasn't going to go very far.
Shot placement has a lot to do with it.
Big time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But that Grim Reaper just absolutely I was like,
gives you a little bit of room for error.
Totally.
This was my deal on it. I had 20 years ago, I killed my one and only elk with a bow.
Yeah.
And at that time, the whole group of us that went, the deal was we got together all summer long. We shot 2 or 3 times a week, and we were shooting out to 100 yards. We had 100-yard pins on our bows. But back, you figure 20 years ago, there was no split limbs.
Oh, yeah.
So you were holding a lot of weight back. And the deal was all of us had all of our gear tuned to be able to shoot the same thing.
Okay, so if you bust something, you could borrow your buddy's arrow or whatever. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was the first time I went to shooting fixed blades.
Mm-hmm.
And it was okay. He shot the elk at 18 yards, and it piled up. Satellite bull wasn't big, but I didn't care.
Oh, yeah. I mean, elk is elk.
Yeah. And then I get home, and I've got like 5 or 6 days left of my vacation. I'm like, I go deer hunting. So here comes an acorn buck, and I whack it with a fixed blade. Yeah, I didn't recover that deer.
Really?
Oh, yeah, I was mad.
Well, and everybody makes whitetail specific broadheads to have a much larger cutting diameter for whatever reason. It seems like that it could be a marketing thing, could be a branding thing, but you didn't recover. What did the blood look like?
Well, I can't remember. It's been 20 years. But my point on that was, again, it was my ignorance because I didn't know any better. I didn't have my bow properly tuned to shoot a fixed blade.
Right.
And it makes such a huge difference out there. So if you're shooting a mechanical, you can have some error in your trajectory or your flight path of your arrow. On that fixed blade, you need to be tuned.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever we met Jeremy and figured out he's the bow doctor, Eagle Outdoors, Jeremy Whittle, he's the bow master. Then when he got my bow tuned up, I'm not a Muzzy fan, never been a Muzzy fan, but the SICK F3 is very commensurate to a Muzzy. And that's all I have anymore is those F3 fixed blades.
Yeah.
And they work.
And where are they out of, SICK?
Well, it's a Bear company.
It's Bear.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's an umbrella company of Bear, just like Trophy Ridge.
Yeah.
It's one of theirs, and it's a great product.
I have no reason to leave it. Jeremy and I talked about it. He asked what we were going to run a couple weeks ago when I was in. And I was like, I don't know, man. Honestly, I might buy a couple different ones just for funsies. Yeah. But I was like, I have literally no reason to go away from this.
G5 wants us to throw some of their stuff down there. He just sent it to us.
Jeremy definitely, he mentioned the G5. And
well, Jeremy's such a tinkerer. I mean, he's always trying new stuff. He just sold his Tri-Tac and he's, I'll get another one.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. Like, I'm so the opposite of that. Like, I will ride a bow into the ground until I'm like, okay, thanks, bro. It's been real good. I'm going to move on. I'm not going to forget about you.
Yeah. No, before I got with Jeremy, I seriously was like, oh, here's my bow. This is what it is. I got to aim 2 inches to the right, 1 inch low, and I'm going to hit it right where I want it to go. I'm just like, I didn't tinker. And I don't tinker my personality. I don't want to get too deep into it because I will. And then I don't want to not enjoy hunting.
Right.
So I'm just like, no, there's some of this. Ignorance is bliss to me. Like, I will never try to tune that Tri-Tac by myself.
Yeah.
Because I've always avoided wanting to do 3D shoots and stuff because I'm like, dude, I will literally dive headfirst into that. And I will obsess over it.
And crack cocaine. You guys out there. It's so much fun.
I might come out to go talk, maybe shoot for fun. I just will never get deep into it because, like I said, my personality, my wife would kill me. Yeah, that wouldn't be.
It's definitely very addicting. I've found it though to be the best form of practice. I don't mind shooting indoor. I like doing it when there's really nothing else going on or it's real crappy outside. But to me, like, I like doing the shot 3D experience, and that's a tough course where you're, crazy elevations, crazy distances, stuff is blocked by foliage. You got to send an arrow over it, whatever. I hunt out west every year, so it's like those crazier shots are a little bit more common.
Yeah.
But I'd also like to see a 3D course that has some tough, whitetail type of stuff where it's like more elevated positions, or maybe the target is a buck behind a doe and you got to sneak it over her or something like that. Or, maybe it's like, hey, we're going to do this at 60 yards and the vitals are just poking outside of that tree. A more Midwest type of 3D experience. But shooting at longer distances, making tough shots does make you a better hunter in those shorter ranges.
I've thought about throwing my hat in there for the experience of getting better because your peers are there.
Oh yeah.
And that's like the same pressure. Because realistically, you want to make an ethical shot always, no matter what. But in the back of your head, you're like, oh, I can't blow this. Everybody's going to know it. Everyone will know it. Everyone will know it if I blow it.
And once you have like a YouTube channel and a Facebook page, and it's like, oh, I show it the guy. That guy's garbage. And it's like, haters love to hate.
We like I said, we've learned that as it's grown. Again, we're by no means are we celebrities at all. But people are so crucial that there's been times where I'm like, oh, I don't want to take that shot because if I post it, it'll be, which hindsight makes us money off the page.
Oh yeah. I mean, if people, good, bad, and different, if they're commenting, it's like, cool.
The best thing that happened to us this season was BJ would get on our comments and like, he'd act like he prefers a gut shot.
Yeah.
Or if it was like, just in a pump house, he'd be like, gut shot, good luck tracking. And these people would go insane. There was one that had like 200 something replies.
Oh my gosh.
Because he was just like, I think actually it was the one where I put the dots on. It was like, which color would you prefer? And BJ like screenshotted it and drew a purple dot back on the guts. And it was like, this is where I aim. And people were going nuts. I'm like, guys, come on. It's satire. He's obviously kidding. I think he's kidding. But you never know. But yeah, no, it's fun.
Well, and it's always one of those types of things, I try not to let it get under my skin because a lot of my content is educational, like whether it's about new regs or Jeremy and I are going to start working on some more videos for tuning stuff, and we got some more fun ideas like that. And as you guys know, it's like whenever you post anything about MDC, and I'm like, look, like, for example, when I posted about the regulations, one guy was like, MDC doesn't give a damn about your quote unquote input. And I'm like, you're right. We should all just sit on our ass and do absolutely nothing. Right.
That's gonna work.
That's what they want.
Don't fill out the
Right.
form. Don't put your, even if you're one of 10,000 people who said something, look, this is how democracy was built.
Right.
It's like your voice matters, and it's just hard to let people know that half the time.
Yeah, and that's also that's one of those things where it's like the loudest voice in a room is not always right. So those people, you're just like, hey man, you're saying that, there's 10 guys that agree with me, like, and are glad I'm putting out this content, glad I'm educating. Like, hey, you're just the only one dumb enough to waste the 15 seconds of your life to put that comment on there.
Well, and then you have the problem too of what they call the vocal minority.
Mm-hmm.
A small group of people with a really loud voice posting the most extreme thing, and it's like, and unfortunately, extreme edges of whatever it is gets a lot of attention sometimes, because I'm like, I'll be reading it, I'd be like, there's no way somebody could be this dumb. What the hell are they talking about?
Right.
And I'm like, oh, he's trying to get me. This is how I've already spent too much time on this thing.
Yep.
So I'll move on. But no, you guys do have a great following, and I love the content you're putting out. Do you think the Wackado thing was really a big driver to getting them followers up? And
yes, and so yes. So if you'll notice, right now our page is muted or whatever.
Oh, like shadow banned?
Yeah, it said it's not gonna recommend us to anybody.
Oh.
Which I know, like Eagle Outdoors went through it. All the outdoor pages are going through it, and we've been through it before. This one's lasted a little bit longer. I am a little worried, but we don't actually really post much in the spring. I don't know why. We have some killer turkey footage, and it just doesn't do numbers.
Yeah.
It doesn't do numbers.
I kind of stopped making turkey content because I'm just like, it's too ordinary.
People, I mean, I'm talking like, there's one video, Norm took this bird's head off in Texas from like 8 yards and nothing. I'm like, that's incredible footage.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
It's great footage.
But then get on there. I will post the most mediocre, like 1080 HP doe video, and it's 1 million views.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. Our views during season usually say around 7 to 8 million within a 28-day cycle.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, it's not that we did anything right. It's just a lot of years of filming hunts. Because all I'm posting is a 15-second reel.
Right.
We have a YouTube channel. I was doing long form content, but then I was like, man, this is stupid.
It's tough.
We didn't have the followership.
Well, we didn't have I did it backwards. I should have built it up via reels. Then, because again, who's going to see it? I'm just lucky if someone come across it. But I wish I could say we did anything special. We really didn't. I would say the biggest catalyst is I videoed a gobbling hen up north in Nashville, Missouri, 4 years ago. That was our first 1 million view video, and then once I figured out I could do it, I was like, oh, okay, like a weekend. I got the content.
That was during the Bud Light controversy. Because we said she drank Bud Light.
I was like, she obviously drinks Bud Light, so
hopping on that trend. It grabbed all, because I mean, it was, man, Bud Light really turned their back on the community. It was a good old boys drink until
that. So like, I think just utilizing that and growing has been a catalyst. But man, I tell you what, in hindsight, the Wackado is what made us, because we've posted a whole bunch of bucks.
Yeah.
And they do good. They do okay. 300, 400, 500,000 views. I throw does up there, and people cannot get enough of it. I don't know what it is.
Well, it's probably a little bit more relatable, right? 185-inch deer, 160-inch deer. Most guys can hardly dream about that.
Right.
But if you can get them involved, then they get opportunity to share their hunt with just a doe. That's exciting.
That's the whole reason we started it. We're just ordinary people. Yeah. We don't have we don't have 1,000 acres. We don't have anything. We were hunting small leases, and we're like, hey, we think this is relatable to people. Like, if you do public land, how many public land guys are there? That's relatable. Yeah. Oh, the struggle, like, oh man, someone bumped this bird while I was 200 yards from it.
Here's a guy wearing a ground blind walking right under my stand.
That's crazy. Wearing a ground blind. That's crazy. But yeah, no, just being relatable. But the Wackado has been huge for us, and again, that was all his idea. He just always said, oh, I need to go Wackado.
Yeah.
And then got to the point where he was like, hey, let's hashtag that. Let's just build something.
And Shannon, when we were talking the other day, you were telling me too that you've made a lot of effort to get involved with the veteran community as well.
Yeah.
Let's dive into that. Tell me a little bit about kind of what inspired you to do that and what your involvement kind of looks like.
Well, I was always a mama's boy, so I was not didn't go to the service or anything, but I've got a lot of veteran friends. And the last, I think, Vietnam veteran friend that I had, he passed away here not too long ago. But you know, those guys are the whole backbone of this country. Everybody that went and fought for our rights here, that now people are just spitting on or what have you. Those veterans hold a special place with me.
Yeah.
And because they forged the path. It's on us to carry that torch on over. And a lot of them, they don't have friends. They don't have places to hunt. You know, the Marine, you know, I'll just call him Marine because that's what I always called him. But, you know, he hadn't harvested a deer in years. Mm-hmm. And I brought him out here to the reservation, and he harvested a deer that night. And he was excited. It was great. We had to do a lot of bleeping on the video because he's a Marine.
A lot.
And, you know, but the thing about it was, whenever we went to finish that harvest and we were field dressing that deer, boy, it all switched for him. Mm-hmm. And you know, and I could see it all over him. And I was like, hey, Marine, it's all right. I'm your guide. Let me do this for you. I'll take care of it. We'll do that. And then we ended up taking it to a processor for him because that's what he wanted to do. And then I took him out to dinner, and we just had a great night. But those individuals who sacrificed everything so we could go out and hunt.
Yep.
So we could do whatever. What is it for me not to take those guys hunting?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. It's one night.
Yeah.
One night of hunting. Who's going to complain about hunting?
The relationships that I have built with veterans all over. I've done a lot of veteran work whenever I was working at First Patrol, and you know, I still talk to those guys today.
Yeah.
You know, on social media, and that to me, I get just excited as when Cactus Jack or any 160 or 150 that I've shot, watching a veteran harvest their deer, mm-hmm. watching my preacher harvest his deer, watching a youth that we've got out hunting harvest their deer. Yeah. I get so it's the same for me. It's a wash, and I love every bit of it.
Yeah, and we got a really good relationship with Charlie Tutu, Scotty Hettinger, there in Webb City. So that's always been really good for us.
Is that an organization?
It is.
Yes.
What
do they do?
Take veterans hunting for free.
Okay.
Yep.
And their family.
Awesome.
And we're big, and this is, I didn't get to punch this in with Dart when we was talking about them, but you know, we're a big Christian based family. You know, part of my deal on our mission statement, or when somebody's watching our videos, I don't want anybody to think that we don't love Jesus. Mm-hmm. And you know, I may say thank you, Jesus, 15 times on a video.
Yeah, when we go back to long form content, eventually we're putting a thank you, Jesus counter on Dad.
Yeah.
Every time he shoots one.
Every time. And that's very, very important to me. Mm-hmm. And Darton, very, very important to them. And Charlie Tutu, the great thing about that is it's a ministry that lets these veterans know, hey, you're not in this by yourself. Mm-hmm. Jesus, God, he's been there with you the entire time. Mm-hmm. He's just waiting for you to turn around and accept him. You know, that's holy. Everything is going to be forgiven. It's okay. And that was the hard thing with the Marine, because he sat in the open gate of a chopper with a big gun and just.
Yeah, you take enough lives.
He just done his thing.
Really kind of wonder about some things.
And it weighed on him hard. Mm-hmm. And I talked to this guy for years. It wasn't pushy. I don't think I was pushy. He may say, yeah, he was pushy. But, you know, finally, the realization got to him. I'd go pick him up for church. He'd go to church with us. He'd come and eat Thanksgiving dinner with us.
He was family. He was family.
Christmas dinner with us. We'd buy him gifts. He was part of our family. All his family lives in Jersey.
Okay.
So he's a Jersey Marine, even worse, right?
Yeah, so the F-bombs are multiple.
Yeah. But ended up, I got to baptize him.
Oh, incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
And we're talking like buzzer beater. Like he didn't live much longer.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My last text to him, I was actually on the way to get some ink, mm-hmm. and because I just retired, and we had big plans. We were going to do a lot of kayaking and fishing, and we were going to go places, and hadn't heard from him that morning. And I tried to call him, no answer. And I sent him a text. I said, "Hey, Marine, you alive?" And he wasn't. He's dead.
Which he would have found funny. That was his test.
Sure.
He would have totally
Yeah,
found
sure.
it funny. He was the first time I ever met Lester. I don't know if I mentioned I was a professional boxer before insurance. And the first time I ever met Lester was up here. And he just gotta know Lester. Gray beard, scrawny old man. And I walk out and he goes, "What the? You're not very big." And I was like, I looked at Dad. I don't know who he was. And I was like, and I'm younger. So I was like, "I don't know who you are. I will punch you in the face, old man."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, I'm Lester." He's like, you must be the fighter, not a very big fighter." And I was like, "Nice to meet you." I was
So they got weight classes for, but okay.
Yeah, I was like, I'm looking at Dad. I'm like, "Dad, you better get this guy. Like, I'm gonna punch him in the face. Like, I don't care how old he is." And then he ends up being like one of my favorite people.
Natural born smack talker.
Yeah.
I don't even know if he's just he is a bona fide truth teller.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And a hardcore conspiracy theorist.
Oh yeah.
If he would have kept living, his crypto would have paid for all of our lives. That's what he kept telling me. "I'll get you whatever you want when this crypto takes off."
we ended up, along with Eagle Outdoors, we ended up, because he couldn't pull a bow back because he had
arthritis. He had everything in there.
It was bad, and he couldn't pull a bow back. So we teased him a little bit about being a crossbow hunter, and told him, he has his own things about different branches in the military. So we just picked one and say, "You really worked there. You weren't a Marine.
You were in the Navy. Don't lie."
Yeah. And but anyway, he come out here a couple times, and after he harvested his first deer, because I would let him hunt here. I don't let many people hunt here at the reservation.
He's the last one to hunt here.
Yeah, and he shot a couple of deer, and we didn't recover them. And it was, his crossbow was a Jackal that he bought from Walmart.
Oh my goodness!
Like 25 years before that.
And his broadhead and his arrow didn't match.
No, nothing was the same.
It was bad.
So I got to talking to Kate about it, and talked to the wife, and I said, I'd really like for us to buy him a new crossbow.
Mm-hmm.
And of course we were in bed with Bear at the time, and I thought, well, we need to get him a Bear product, because that's all we're doing at the time. So I called up Chase Blakey, who's the owner of Eagle Outdoors, and over at the Willard store, and I said, "Hey, this is what we're wanting to do. What can you help us out? I'm not expecting you to do anything, because Eagle Outdoors is one of our big sponsors." And so we ended up basically buying him a crossbow at cost.
Yeah.
And come out here at the house. We shot out under our range, got it all sighted up. Next day, he come out here and hunted.
It was
smoked
successful.
a deer. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
That's incredible.
Because it was just he didn't have the right equipment, and of course he's on fixed income, right? And that, which is a whole different story on that, about how the government fails our veterans.
Oh, 110%.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm right there with you. What I see, look, I used to live in Portland, Oregon. Okay. And the amount of just disrespect people have for our armed services, for our law enforcement, for our firefighters, it's like, that was a big part of why we left. I was like, I can't be a part of this. Being out there telling people I'm a Christian, this, that, and the third. People look at you sideways like, that's wild.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, and I tried to lead by an example out there, but when we moved here, it was so difficult to my wife. Essentially, I was like, there's these job opportunities. And in my heart, I was like, I don't think that these are the strongest opportunities in terms of like the job itself. But I felt that pull in my heart. The Lord is like, needed us out here for whatever reason. And maybe it's what we're doing right now. Connecting with other like-minded individuals, help spread that gospel.
Yeah.
But one of the hardest things for me was leaving one of my really, really rock solid communities out there. That was a jiu-jitsu gym. And one of my good friends, shout out to Tobias Shea, he helped me through some of the most difficult times in my life. I had just quit drinking and was trying to get my shit back together, essentially.
Right.
He had been out for a while now, had worked through all of his stuff, and we would be working out together, just going hard. And I mean, these are some of my most fondest memories. I'm not a veteran, but through him and his experience, he was able to elevate me. We had other guys who had experienced war trauma and were able to get into this fold and grow with us in that jiu-jitsu so powerful. But really, if you think about like what we're looking at there, we're looking at physical fitness. We're looking at community, big one right there, right?
Yes.
And you gave that to your friend. You gave him a sense of community, which is so important. And it sounds like even if you only helped extend his time on Earth enough to get him in that water.
Sure.
Right. It's
all worth it.
That's the win right
it's all
there.
worth it.
Right.
Yeah. Because again, and I think that's what he had a hard time with himself, was grasping everything he had done.
Mm-hmm.
And thinking like basically being dumped in that water, he was forgiven. I think that was the hardest part for him, to be like, yeah, that truly is, you know, how that works.
It's not forgiving you for everything. It's giving you that fresh start,
Right.
that fork in the road to move forward. And it does break my heart to hear that he wasn't able to experience that as much as you would have liked to. But maybe, I don't know, maybe he was ready. I don't know.
Yeah, well, maybe that was all he was waiting on.
Yeah.
You never know.
The only thing I know is one day I'll see him again.
Yep.
You know, it was great, and it was cold. It was actually at Mark Elliott's house in his pool, and they had just opened it up. I mean, it was cold.
Yeah.
And this is what's great. So for everybody out there, we got in that water. And he's just cold, and he was going like this, you know, he don't breathe. And of course, both of us are shaggy because I had retired. I hadn't shaved because I had to shave every morning to go to work. And it put him down into his watery grave. He came back up, and it was like the water went to bath water. And I said, "You feel that?" I said, "Can you feel the difference in everything that just happened right now?"
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh yeah, this is warm. What happened?" And I said, "That's what it's like.
Yeah.
When you got Jesus on your side."
Yep. Wow.
Yeah.
Incredible.
It's great. But
incredible.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited to see the work that you guys continue to do moving forward. And I thank you guys so much for the time. You know, I don't want to take up too much of your afternoon here. Obviously Midwest Maniacs on Facebook.
Yep.
Is that your kind of primary platform?
Yeah. Instagram kind of made things too hard.
Yeah.
So Facebook's kind of really the only thing we're going off of right now.
We still have a Twitter account, or X.
Yeah.
But
it's kind of falling off a little bit.
That's polluted at this point.
It's yeah.
So do you guys got anything kind of coming up that you want people to know about, or just waiting for deer season to kind of roll around and get the Wackado thing rolling again?
Yeah, no, I start thinking about Wackado now.
Yeah, and you know, be looking for content because we're going to be on board full head of steam with Darton.
Yeah.
I mean, we get out here and we shoot. We're already shooting. We're getting ready to do some stuff, and we want everybody to know that you can afford a Darton.
Yes.
It could be a Consequence. It could be a Tri-Tech. It could be whatever you want. You know, I recommend your Black Eagle arrows with it, of course. But,
great arrows.
You know, we're going to get as much stuff out there for people to see to get Darton down here in this area that is with us, because it will the people are like, man, I'm going to switch to Darton, but I got to save up some money first because you guys are shooting it. Then we know it's going to be worth it. And like, yeah, it's worth it. So,
well, and they're going to see a lot of it because I'm making a ton of content this year. You guys are making a ton of content this year. Who knows? Maybe we'll have a collaboration video on something.
Oh, that'd be great.
Absolutely.
And it'll just be us. Maybe we get Jeremy involved and have a whole Darton army out in the woods.
Yeah. What would be even better? We figure out when we're going to go kill some hogs, and we get all of us to go.
I like that.
Go
idea.
do it. Yeah.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate you coming on. And we ought to do it again sometime.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We'll check in right before season.
Yep. I love that. Cool.